Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. We're doing this a little bit early because our guest speaker is Eastern Standard Time and it's just crazy late for them. So I'm happy to see all of your faces and just wanted to go through a few announcements before we get started. We are almost at the halfway point in July. We're closing in on Summit. So I wanted to do a couple of reminders. Number one, make sure that you're going back and doing all your follow-ups with people because the 21-day fix is on sale. It's been on sale for 2 months now, and so I just know from the trends that it's probably not going to be on sale for a while. Country Heat's obviously going to be the next thing that's on sale. So a lot of people have had amazing results with 21-day fix, and it's really the catalyst to a lot of people's journeys. So go back to them, utilize your time wisely. Don't wait till the end of the month. Just a little quick story. I have been doing all of my shopping and everything online for a really long time because I work from home and I have that ability. Well, I've been trying to I want a new car. So I found one online, and actually Ryan usually always does all of the car stuff for me, but he's been working crazy hours lately. So I've been handling it, and I found the car that I want, but I'm not really desperate for it. I mean, obviously I work from home, so I literally drive like, I don't know, twice a month maybe. So it didn't matter to me. Well, I dealt with a salesman today, and they literally interrupted my workflow all day. And they literally, I was like, I knew the terms that I wanted, and I knew exactly what I was looking for, and they weren't going to change my mind. And I literally had 5 different people calling me, and they were just so desperate to make the sale. And it was for the first time in a long time that I've had to deal with a salesman. And now I understand, how people feel when you get that coach who at the end of the month, they're scrambling for money, scrambling for Success Club points. Their coach is putting the heat on them. They want, to hit these goals. And the desperation is just, I could see it through, feel it through the phone. And don't be that person. Because we're not selling cars. We are really selling a lifestyle, and we're really, in the business of changing lives. So use your time wisely. And, Success Club, we know, is the foundation of our business. And don't be a Success Club, the person at the end of the month. And also, Super Saturday's coming up. I did a live video in Team Relentless. If you missed it, about the importance of it. If you need help finding one, let your sponsor know or let me know. But get to it, especially if you were not able to get to Summit. And lastly, that Summit's coming up. So for you that couldn't make it, or our new coaches, make sure that you're really dialed into social media and the Coach Online office Friday night, because that's usually whenever they announce when Summit is. And I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know how much what it's going to cost, but I can tell you last year it sold out super crazy fast, and our organization's even bigger, and we are really big about live events. So many people are aware of the importance of the Summit, and don't miss out. And and if you somehow do, get on the wait list. So lastly, I want to just do a shout out to Valerie Rippey, who set a date for Diamond. And I really pushed her because she set a goal for the end of July. And I was like, girlfriend, I know you can do it. And she wrote that date down and then went back and changed it. And she made it happen. She's officially will be Diamond on Thursday, but she made it happen a couple days ago. So I just want to reiterate what I tell all of you all the time, the importance of setting goals, writing them down, and really having something that stretches you and pushes you out of your comfort zone, and sharing it with people that are in your corner and want to support you. So with that being said, I am super excited that Pat's going to be on our call. We actually met whenever we were in the PIO test group back in 2014. He had crazy results, and that's when I didn't even know who he was. I didn't even know who a lot of the people were. We were put together, but I watched him, and he's a fun guy. If you ever go to an event and you can watch him and his family, they are seriously a kick in the pants, and they just have enthusiasm, and just they definitely attract a fun crowd. And so our organization is very saturated with females, and I really always want to share as many male coaches as I can that have been successful, and he has definitely been successful and grown a huge network. So I wanted to bring him on the call, and so he could share his story and some tips to maybe some of the dudes out there who are trying to figure out where they fit in this chick organization. So go ahead. Do you want me to mute you, or you mute yourself? I got you. There you are.
Oh, there you go. All right, cool. Yeah, I remember that PIO test group. I think, wasn't your nickname was Dad Ass?
Yep. I branded myself.
you like lifted your ass, and so it was like a booty. What is that? The Brazil butt lift.
Yep.
But it was like a tile butt lift. Good deal. Yeah, I mean that was like, when was it? That was 2014.
Yep.
So I've been a coach for, it'll be 8 years at the end of this month, which is like crazy, right? Like that went by so fast. The first 4 years were very kind of all over the place. I didn't have a ton of success with the business, to be honest. The last 4 years I've had a lot of success with it. A lot more than the first 4 years. Hit like elite the last 3 years, on track to hit elite again this year. For me, I didn't really change what I was doing from the first 4 years to what I've been doing the last 4 years. I just changed how consistent I was with those things. And so I actually see it. I invited like a couple coaches from my team to join the call. I like how you set up an event for the team call. That's a really great idea. So they like are probably so sick of me being so consistent about saying be consistent, because that's just like my motto with this thing. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the best internet marketer. I'm not the best on social media. I'm not the best at building relationships. I'm not the best at selling challenge packs, but I can stay really, really consistent with this thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So for me, when I talk to new coaches or veteran coaches, there's two things I talk about. The first is the mindset you need to be successful with the business. And then the second are the skills. And like I said, I'm not that skilled. Like the things I do each day, like the 5 skills I'm going to talk to you guys about, are things that I could teach to an advanced 8th grader, or maybe even 5th grade. I know Lauren's on the call. She teaches 5th grade. I really do think that a lot of the things I'm doing are pretty simple things. It's the mindset that gets people caught up. And so what I always talk about is what's the big picture with the business. Because if you don't have that mindset, you don't have the big picture, it doesn't really matter how good you are with those skills. So anytime someone comes to me and they're like, okay, Pat, cut the bull. Like, what do I need to do to build a 6-figure income with this business? Or they come to me and they say, Pat, like, I see the impact you're having on people's lives. How do I build a team of people that are impacting the amount of lives that your team's impacting? Because our team, we're selling like, close to 1,000 challenge packs each month to new people. Those are 1,000 new people every month that are getting the support with the fitness, nutrition, and an experience in our challenge groups. So anytime someone comes to me with either of those 2 questions, how do I build a 6-figure income, or how do I build a team that's going to impact a ton of lives? I always answer it the same way. It comes down to one thing: develop leaders. Develop 2 or 3 leaders. If you can develop 2 or 3 leaders, you are going to build a team that's going to help way more people than you can on your own. And there's a direct correlation with how many people your team's helping and what Beachbody pays you. Comes down to developing leaders. So then the question is, okay, how do you do that, right? What I've found is if you want to attract leaders to your business, those kind of people, those 2 or 3 rock star leaders you want on your team, they're typically pretty smart people. They're typically people that are going to sit back and watch. And when you get a no from someone, you got to understand that you got to learn to love your no's. You got to love your no's, because when you get a no from someone, now they're going to watch you. They're going to watch you so much closer than they were before. So a no is a good thing. I always tell my coaches, a no is a good thing. You've put them on notice. You've planted a seed. And now they're going to watch to see what you do. So like I said, big picture, 2 to 3 leaders. How do you attract those really good people on your team? They're going to be people that watch you for a while. So get their attention by getting that no. That's a good thing. And then let them watch you so that you can prove to them that this thing is real and you're serious about it. And the only way you prove that to those kind of people is by showing up every day for a year, and then they join your team. That's the mindset you got to have coming into this. You got to understand that's how it works. But what do most coaches do? What do most new coaches do? What did I do my first 4 years? I showed up on the days I was excited to show up. I showed up on the days I felt like it. I didn't show up on the days I didn't feel like it. So I was on my own journey, right? I'm sharing on social media when I feel like it. I'd go to an event or I'd listen to a call and I'd be excited to do the business, and I'd be showing up, and the people that I wanted on my team were watching me for what, like a month. And then I'd get discouraged because I'd hear no's and I just kind of fall off and I wouldn't show up anymore. And then those people that told me no and were watching me now, they saw me stop. So why would they join me? I didn't understand that I needed to let them watch me for 6 months to a year and then they'd come back around. I know that now, but I didn't really realize that at the time. So I always start there with the mindset. And any like visual learners on the call, I'm a very visual learner. Like you could talk to me, but it doesn't click unless I have like a visual example. So that whole, like, you got to show people you're serious and that this thing is real by showing up every day for a year on your own journey, sharing your journey on social media, planting those seeds, getting those no's. But most coaches, they don't understand that's how it works. And they stop after 3 months of being consistent because those no's aren't turning into yeses yet. That's how that's what happens, right? So here's a great visual example. Has anyone ever tried to run up an escalator that was going down? Has anyone ever tried that? I used to do this when I was a kid. My mom used to yell at me all the time. Yeah, wow, a lot of hands, a lot of troublemakers. I like it. This is a good crowd. So you get on this escalator, right? And you're like excited, right? In the beginning, you're excited to build a business. In the beginning of running up an escalator, you're excited and you have a lot of energy. And you start running up this escalator and you're running full speed. And what happens when you're running up an escalator that's going down? You're running full speed, but you're not moving up as fast as you want because you're going uphill against the traffic. And even though you're planting seeds and you're inviting like crazy and you're sharing your journey, your business isn't moving as fast as you want because, like we said, they need to watch you for a while after they say no. That's how it works. But what happens to most coaches? They get discouraged and they don't realize that and they stop. After 3 months of running, they stop. And what happens when you stop running when you're on an escalator that's going down? You go backwards. And that's what happens in this business. That's what I did to myself for 4 freaking years. I would get on the escalator, I'd plant these seeds, I'd get the no's, people would start watching me now, and I'd get halfway up that escalator, I'd be consistent for 3 months, and then I'd stop. I'd stop showing up because those no's weren't turning into yeses yet. Because I didn't realize they needed to watch me for 6 months to a year to prove to them that I was serious about this and that this was a real opportunity. I didn't gain their credibility. And when they saw me quit, now they're like, no way I'm going to join him now. Like, why would I join him if he's not even staying consistent with this for more than a couple months? So I lost all that credibility and I had to replant all those seeds. And I did that to myself over and over and over again my first 4 years, which is why I didn't have a lot of success with the business. And right at the beginning of this call, I told you my first 4 years sucked. Last 4 years, great. Didn't really change what I was doing. I changed how consistent I was with those things. So when I finally, after I was going up and down on this escalator for 4 years, I saw coaches join after me, get on the escalator, plant seeds every day, connect with new people every day, share their journey every day, and just do it every single day for a full year. And I saw them do that, and then their businesses blew up in that second year. Meanwhile, I was going up and down the escalator taking breaks. And I'd meet these people and talk to them. I'm like, these people aren't any different than me. They're not like any more skilled or any smarter or talented. They're just more consistent with those simple daily things that I know how to do. I'm just not doing it every day. I'm only doing it on the days I feel like it. And it pissed me off, to be honest. It really did. Because I had this like huge, powerful why of I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to work when I wanted, where I wanted, with who I wanted, as much as I wanted. And I wanted to inspire other people to create that kind of freedom in their life too. And I was being a little bitch, not being consistent. And that was the only thing holding me back. And I realized that it wasn't that I wasn't skilled enough or talented enough. It was just I wasn't being consistent with those little things. So I finally got to a point where I was like, I'm getting back on this effing escalator. I don't know if there's like kids on this thing. I'm getting back on this escalator and I am not getting off this thing. I'm going to be consistent with my own fitness and nutrition every day. I'm going to be consistent with my own personal development every day. Not because I'm building a business, but because I'm someone that wants to grow. I'm someone that wants to hit my potential. And I'm going to do that every day and share that journey on social media to attract other people that are like-minded. And if I do that every day, it's inevitable that I'm going to find the right people. And guess what? I did that for a year. And those people that had been watching for a few years, finally, after me showing up every single day for a year, those rock stars started showing up. And my business started to really take off to that next level. But that's just how it works. You got to understand that you got to love your nose, and that the big picture is develop 2 or 3 leaders. Develop 2 or 3 leaders. You're going to hit everything on that why list. I'll talk about the why list, but whatever your big why is, you're going to nail that if you can develop a couple good leaders. And the way you do that is by showing up every day for a full year to show people that you're serious about this and it's real. What do you guys think about that? Who's been on this escalator for a while, kind of up and down, excited, planting a ton of seeds, and then they lose that excitement or whatever, life gets in the way, and then they stop and they lose all their momentum? I've been there. I did it for 4 years. I know how it feels. You just got to understand that you can't see the results. You plant the seeds, you get your nose, people are watching, and they're getting closer and closer to joining, but you got to prove to them, you got to gain that credibility. You can't see it happening. You can't see that credibility building, but it's happening. And that took me 4 years to realize. So don't let 4 years go by of going up and down this escalator. Just get on this thing and stay consistent with your own journey, sharing on social media, inviting, getting your nose, planting seeds. Consistency is one of the sexiest things out there. All right. So my thing is like, okay, how come some coaches get on this escalator and stay on the escalator for a year and some struggle and go up and down, up and down? And it comes down to 2 things. The first is your why. If you don't have a strong enough why would you stay on an escalator that's going down? Why would you run up an escalator that's going down for a full year? That's tiring. It's not always fun. But if you have a big enough why, you will. My why was big enough that I was willing to stay on that escalator for 5 years and be consistent for 5. I was like, I'm getting back on this escalator. This time I'm not getting off. And I don't care if it takes me 5 years to find a couple good leaders. I'm not getting off. If it takes me 5 years, great. I have 50 years to enjoy the freedom. So what are the 2? So that why, when I'm talking to a new coach, I talk about their why. I want to know why they want to do this. And one of the things I like to do with my coaches is create a why list. Does anyone have a why list or like a vision board or anything like that? So I think the vision boards are great. What I call it is a why list. And I have them write it down from the small stuff to the big stuff. You know, if your why is financial freedom, to be able to be financially free to create and mold whatever kind of life you want, that's great. That's at the top of your why list. And then what are some of the smaller things, like maybe a mortgage payment, maybe a car payment, maybe a cell phone, maybe just paying for your Shakeology. Or I had a coach, this is like I love this one. She wanted to be able to afford the softer Charmin toilet paper. I was like, add that shit to the list. That's great. That's part of your why fuel. I call it why fuel, right? I still think that's so funny. So I try to get my coaches out of the mindset of that thing over there would be cool, or that what that family's doing, taking their family on that vacation. I wish I could do that. That would be great. And I go, stop saying that would be cool. Rather say, I can't do that yet, but I'm going to be able to, and add it to your why list. So with that why list, I always make my coaches leave some blank space at the bottom so that they can add to it throughout that first year and then beyond that. So that's that first thing, that why list I'm helping my coaches with. If they don't have that, they're not going to stay on the escalator. And if they don't stay on the escalator, they're not going to find a couple good leaders. And if they don't find a couple good leaders, they're not going to build a successful business. Simple as that. Another thing, so number 1, why. Number 2, the second thing is belief. If you don't have a belief that staying on this escalator for a full year is going to actually help you find those leaders and help you build a successful business, you're not going to stay on the escalator. So the way I help coaches with their belief is kind of reverse engineer it. So we already know big picture. The way you build a successful business comes down to one thing: develop a couple good leaders. They don't even have to be personally sponsored. You know, you could bring someone in, they're not really into it. They bring in a friend that's really into it. You work with them, you help develop them into a great leader. That's enough, right? But that's the big picture. So I reverse engineer it from there. Big picture, develop leaders. How do you do that? You show up every day. You be consistent every day. Where are those leaders usually going to come from, though? They're going to be coming out of your challenge groups. Because they're going to be people that love the products, and they're going to be people that love what we do as coaches, that see how vital the accountability and the experience we give people in those challenge groups is to their results and to other people's results. So anytime someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to do what you do, or I'm interested in learning about what you do, or I always say, first things first, you got to go through one of my challenge groups, because I got to give you the experience of the products and the experience of what we do as coaches for our clients. My foundation of my business, I'll talk about it more, but the foundation of my business is the experience I give my challengers in my challenge groups. And how do I get people into my challenge groups? By being consistent with the vital behaviors every single day for a year. The people that join my challenge groups, guess what? They've been watching me for over a year. Almost every single one of them. Sometimes 6 months, but most of the time it's a year. A lot of times it's like 5 years. But they watched me stay consistent with this thing for long enough to really believe that when they finally made the decision, okay, I'm ready to get in shape, I was the first name that popped in their mind, because I was the one that was on the escalator that whole time. And they saw me on the escalator and they're like, man, this kid is still doing this. And I want to get in better shape. I want to feel better. I keep seeing his posts pop up. A year goes by. Okay, now I'm ready. It's just how it works. Cool. So that's how I try to get my coaches to see that what I'm telling them to do every day, that showing up every day, like sharing your journey, being consistent with your own personal development, your own fitness and nutrition, sharing that journey, inviting new people to connect with you, inviting new people to join your challenge groups, doing that every day for a year and improving to people you're the go-to person. That's how you get them in your challenge groups. The people coming out of your challenge groups are the ones that are the most likely to develop into those good coaches that become those 2 or 3 leaders that are going to build your successful business. So it's not like I'm telling you to do these vital behaviors every day just to do them. I'm showing them exactly how it leads up to that 2 or 3 leaders. And then you couple that with a strong why, that belief and the why, and they're unstoppable. But the coaches that struggle, that go up and down this escalator, they don't have one of those 2 things. They've fallen off of one of those 2 things. Their why's not in alignment, or their belief is off. So anytime I get on a call with a veteran coach, even if I've done the same thing with them, I do it again over and over. I ask them 3 questions. Number 1, what's your why? Read me your why list. Because a lot of times my why is always on my mind. My why was always on my mind when I was building my business, when I was still working full time. Most people, their why is only on their mind here and there when someone asks them what it is, and then they just say something that sounds cool. So the more you can get your coaches to verbalize your why, the more you verbalize your why, the more you look at your why list, the stronger it becomes. So the first question I ask my new coaches and my veteran coaches is, what's your why? What's on your why list? You don't have a why list? What the heck? Let's make one right now. All right. Second question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your belief that it's #inevitable that you're going to find and develop 2 or 3 leaders that want to do this with you? Where's your belief on a scale of 1 to 10 that it's inevitable? It's not like I hope it happens. It's not even I believe it happened. It's like I know it. It's like this knowingness that it's inevitable in my gut, 110%, that if I show up every day and stay on this escalator for a year, it's inevitable I'm going to find 2 or 3 people that get this and want to be leaders and build teams just like I do. It's inevitable. So I tell them, like, this is a safe zone. Like, I'm not here to judge you. I just want you to be honest with me. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your belief that that's inevitable for you? And then if it's like a 5, we talk about why it's a 5. So then the third question is, what is holding you back from making that an 8 or a 9 or a 10? So those are the 3 questions I ask. What's your why? Where, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in your belief that it's inevitable you're going to find and develop 2 or 3 good leaders that want to do this with you? And the third is, what is holding you back from making that a 10? And a lot of times they verbalize it and it loses a little bit of power right away. And then we can also start to talk through it and work through it to help them get over whatever that obstacle is, to help that belief get stronger up to an 8, 9, or 10. And then couple that with that why list, that strong why, with the belief that they're actually going to get there, boom, they're going to get back on that thing, right? So that's the mindset talk, man. I could talk about mindset all day. What I'll talk about, I guess, before I get into like the 5 skills, the last thing is the vital behaviors. So I look at the vital behaviors kind of like this. I think that 4th vital behavior is huge. The new one, the recognition, I think that's clutch. I do recognition all the time in my groups. I'm like shouting out people left and right. I love it. I think I enjoy giving people shout outs, and I think they enjoy getting shout outs. So I think that's a great ad. I was doing that already. I'm glad they added that. But the original 3 vital behaviors, personal development, be proof the products work, and invite, the way I think it works is you got the first 2, I believe, are the foundation. Personal development, being proof the products work. The more personal development you do, the easier the inviting becomes. The more you become proof the products work, the easier the inviting becomes. But it starts with these 2. Personal development and being proof the products work. If you don't nail those things, the inviting is going to be so much harder. The more you do those first 2, the inviting just becomes natural, becomes easy. And you're able to deal with no's a lot easier because you're doing your personal development and your mindset and all that. So that's kind of how I explain the vital behaviors. And I ask people, I ask myself this: why am I doing personal development? Why am I drinking Shakeology? Why am I working out? Why am I eating right? If you're doing personal development and you're working out and eating right and drinking your shake because you want to build a business, that's okay. But I think people can tell that you're doing it just to build a business, in my opinion. I can tell the difference between a coach who's doing those things because they're trying to build a business versus someone that's just the kind of person they are. There's someone that just loves personal development. They love growing. They are constantly on YouTube. I can barely get any work done because I'm constantly on YouTube. I just love it. I love listening to people that are growing and have tips on how to grow. I'm not doing that because because it's a business. I'm doing it because I just love that stuff, right? So that's like the mindset. That's like kind of the mentality I think the coaches have that are doing really, really well. They're doing their personal development because that's the kind of person they are. They're working out because that's the kind of person they are. And they're eating right because that's the kind of person. That doesn't mean they love doing those things every day. I don't love doing those things every day, but I love growing physically and mentally. I just want to be stronger because I want to have a bigger impact on people's lives. And I know if I want to do that, I got to take care of myself first. And I'm doing those things for me, priority number 1, so that I can then do the other things, have a bigger impact. But I'm not doing those things just because I'm building a business. I'm doing that because that's the kind of person that I am. And I know a lot of you guys are like that too. So that's kind of how I look at the vital behaviors. That's the mindset. Like I said, that's 80%, I think, of the battle. 20% is the skills. So I spend a ton of time on the mindset. You guys ready to get on this escalator and run for a while now? Okay, cool. So I can talk. I want to save some time at the end so you guys can ask some questions. I'd rather do some, you guys ask me specific questions than me to sit here and talk the whole time. But I'll go quickly kind of, once we do the mindset, we got that nailed down. I'll talk to you about kind of the 5 skills I try to get my coaches comfortable with. The first 3 are the ones I get my new coaches comfortable with. The other 2, they don't really need to be comfortable with just yet. So the first 3, the first one is being consistent with your own journey and sharing that on social media. Being consistent with your own journey, we talked about that, and how to share that on social media. So for me, I'm not the best at sharing on social media. Just not. I try to come up with cool things to post, but I'm not if you look at my Facebook page, I don't know if it would be easy to tell I was a Beachbody coach. I think I'm not one of the people that I never post anything that's a picture that Beachbody came out with that says on sale this month. Here's my website. I never say, hey, do this challenge group. Here's my, go buy this challenge pack. You will see me post once in a while. Hey, I'm struggling right now. I need some help staying accountable. I'm starting 21 Day Fix on X date if anyone wants to join me. That's what I do. It's never, you go do this. It's always, hey, I'm doing this. I would love to stay accountable. Who wants to help me? We'll keep each other accountable. Let's do it together. So that's one of the things I'm kind of sharing on social media. The other stuff I'm sharing on social media is, things, if I think something's funny, I'll share it. Like those 2 or 3 leaders, that big picture goal, develop 2 or 3 leaders. I'm willing to bet that they're going to be people that have a very similar sense of humor to you. And no judgment, whatever your sense of humor is, but I bet your 2 or 3 people that your leaders are going to have the very similar sense of humor. So if you want to find people that have the same sense of humor as you, you got to post things that you find funny, that connect with your sense of humor so that you can attract people that have that similar sense of humor. So it's not just Beachbody all the time. Like I share things that I think are funny. I share videos. And I'm real. Like if I'm struggling with something, like I'll straight up share it. And I'll share like not just this sucks. I never complain. I never complain. The only thing I complain about are people that complain. I'm kidding. But I'll share like, hey, this isn't going so well. This is what I'm doing to get past it. And I think that Beachbody coaches do a great job of sharing what they're so excited about. The opportunity is going to give me this. The workouts have done this for me. And that's great. But where you really connect with people is sharing what you were struggling with or what you're currently struggling with. That's where you connect with them because they're currently struggling with something similar. And then they're willing to listen to how you're getting past it. But if you're just sitting over here saying how great it is and yada, 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 you're not going to connect with anybody. They're not going to be able to relate to it because they're not there yet. But if you're sharing and you're vulnerable with what you struggle with, that's where you connect and you build that relationship with them. Then they're willing to listen to what you're doing to get past it, and maybe they'll join you. So that's kind of just getting comfortable with sharing on social media. And, some coaches share 3 to 5 times a day. I have coaches on my team that share 3 to 5 times a day. I share once a day. I try to post once a day, something that's like meaningful, something that is funny, something that I saw that was really cool that I shared. Maybe if I'm traveling, something cool, maybe because I attract people that also love to travel, and this opportunity, allows you to do that. So yeah, sharing on social media, that's how you show people that you're showing up every day by sharing. And I do personal development every day. It's the first thing I do. I use a lot of the things that I'm reading in development and make it into a post. So it's like, oh, this quote really stood out to me today. How does that relate to what's going on in my life right now? How do I make that into a post for today? So I get a lot of material from my personal development, which is huge. Then I get a lot of material from the workouts I'm doing or, meals that I'm making, things like that. But it's definitely not Beachbody all the time. So that's the first skill, just getting them comfortable with just sharing on social media. And here's the other thing. There's always like 2 or 3 people that you're friends with on Facebook that you're going to be worried about what they think, right? There's 2 or 3 haters. I bet you all have people in your mind. You can think of a couple people that you're like hesitant to post because of those 1 or 2 people, right? Are you going to let 1 or 2 negative people dictate what you post? Because what you post is going to dictate your success in this business. Are you going to let those 1 or 2 negative people dictate how successful you are with this? Or are you going to let the thousands and thousands of other people out there that would really connect and relate to what you have to say, would you let them dictate what you post? If someone doesn't like what I post, I don't give a shit. It wasn't meant for them. They can unfriend me. See ya. So, just how it is. So there's always going to be a few people that are negative. The funny thing is, like, I don't hear from anybody anymore like that. They're gone, They don't say anything. And a few of them actually have joined me as coaches now. How funny is that? Weird, right? So that's the first thing. Just getting comfortable with sharing on social media, being vulnerable, being yourself. You don't have to be perfect. People don't want someone who's perfect. They want someone who's real, right? Cool. Second skill. And I think this is like one that really separates the really successful coaches from the ones that are doing okay. Ready? Got your pens and pens? Okay. Adding new people to your network every day. Connecting with new people every single day. It's just an easy thing not to do. It's an easy thing to be doing your invites and your follow-ups and posting on social media, coming up with content in your challenge groups, talking to the coaches in your group, and doing your personal development. But you forget to add new people every single day. The top coaches, the coaches that are having success year after year and growing these successful businesses, they're adding new people every day. If you have the same 3 people liking your posts every day, it's going to be tough to be successful in this business. It just is. It's just real. So when I'm connecting with new people each day, I don't have a number in mind. It's not like I have to connect with 20 new people every day and it's just like a numbers game. For me, it's like I want to connect with people that I like. So I do like an eyeball test. I search on Facebook suggested friends. I use Facebook groups. I look at Facebook events. I look at Instagram hashtags. I use Instagress. And I go to those people's different profiles and I look at their profile or their Instagram page and I go, is this someone that I want to show up in my newsfeed? Is this someone that the post that they post, is it something I want to be able to see when I'm scrolling through my newsfeed? Is it going to be inspiring? Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be something I connect with? You can usually tell pretty fast. And if it's a no, I don't connect with that person. You know, I'm not, like I said, it's not a numbers game. Then I move on and I connect with I look at the next profile. Is that someone I can connect with? Yes. Okay, great. Let me message them. Let me tell them what I like about their page or about a particular photo. And let me ask them a question about what they do or about that picture. So it's always a compliment, what I like about that picture or about them or about their page. And then a question about them or about that picture or about that page to engage them in a conversation. And if it's someone that we have things in common, the conversation is going to be smooth. If you're struggling to have a smooth conversation, it's probably not someone that's going to be someone you're going to work with anyway. So quality over quantity. But adding new people to your network every day, even like day one as a new coach, I get my brand new coaches doing that from day one, because those first 3 months, they're probably going to do okay with like their warm market friends and family. But what happens month 4? They're like, shit, I ran out of people. And then they get discouraged and they quit. But if they had started on day 1, adding new people, connecting new people, then those people would get to watch them for 3 months. And then when month 4 runs around and their warm market's not kind of dried up a little, those new people had been watching them for 3 months, they jump in and they're ready at that point. New people every day. I stress that all the time. I really think that's one thing that's so easy to overlook. So I'm adding new people every day. Okay. Number 3 is inviting. Just inviting people to join, whether it's a free group or a challenge group. And for me, like, I just get out of my head. Like, I think that's the thing that a lot of coaches struggle with. They're just afraid to throw out that initial invite. I'm like very nonchalant about it. You know, like if I'm talking to someone for a while, I'll just say like, hey, you wouldn't be up for doing a 21-day challenge with me, would you? Or, hey, I think it'd be fun to do a 21-day challenge together. Or, hey, you think you can handle one of my 21-day challenges, you punk? You know, like, it's just like a quick like thing. It's usually like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but I think it'd be fun to do a 21-day challenge together. I always say together. I always say, I think it'd be fun. Sometimes if it's like a friend of mine, I'll be like, hey, you think you can handle this, bro? Come on, let's go. You know, it's not like when my initial invite, like when you invite someone to a party at your house on Friday, you don't like spew everything out. You just tell them like, hey, I'm having a party Friday. I'd love to have you there. You know, you're not like sending this huge script at them. That's what I do when I invite someone to a 21-day challenge. Hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but I think it'd be fun to do a 21-day challenge together. Cool. What up? So then usually all I want them to say after the first question is, what is a 21-day challenge? That's all I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to sell them a 21-day challenge pack or anything like that. I'm just trying to get them to ask me what it is. And then I say, well, there's a few options. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your goals and your obstacles to help you pick the best option? And if they say, how much does it cost? I go, well, there's a few options. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your goals and obstacles so I can help you pick the best option? You know, So that's the second step. Third step is my favorite step. That's where I ask them the questions. 5 questions. I can share, this script with you that I use. But those 5 questions for me, I think that's the best step, because that's where I get to dig deep and really figure out why they want to be a part of this. If they tell me they want to lose 20 pounds, I go, that's great, but why? I want to connect with like a feeling. I want to connect with like an emotion. I don't want to connect with a number, because that number isn't going to be strong enough to get past the price hurdle. Just not. So if they say they want to lose 10 pounds, I go, great, how come? And if they say, I want to be able to have more energy to run around with my kids and keep up with my kids, boom. I get to know more about what is going to drive them so that they can get through some of the days that they're not going to feel like doing it. I can remind them of why they started, and they show up on those days they didn't feel like it because of that. Right? Also, I think during that third step with those questions, they can tell what my motivation, what my intent is. They get a really good idea that I'm not here to sell challenge packs. They can tell that my job is not to sell challenge packs. They can tell that my job starts once they buy the challenge pack. I don't give a shit about 2 successful points or about $50 commission. I care that they get into the challenge group and stay really consistent with it. And I don't even want them to get a 21-day before and after photo. I want them to use these 21 days to break some bad habits and create some good habits so that they create a long-term sustainable lifestyle that lasts the rest of their life. And it's very evident to people when I'm having this invite conversation with them that I'm not here to sell a challenge pack. What I'm really trying to do is that other thing that's so much bigger than just the challenge pack, or so much bigger than just a 21-day transformation. That's why I love that third step of the invite with those questions. And I ask follow-up questions when I'm doing that too, to really dig deep. Fourth step is tell them a little bit more about what comes in the challenge pack and what the challenge group's all about. And then, from there, I'll say just give me 2 weeks, Give me 2 weeks for this thing. If you don't like it, you can send it all back, get all your money back, but give me 2 weeks. I don't say give it 2 weeks. I say, give me 2 weeks. Get the program, give me 2 weeks. Let me coach you. Let me hold you accountable to these serious whys that you have, this giant why we just talked about. Give me 2 weeks. If you don't like it, you get all your money back. I'll make sure you get all your money back. I even tell them I'll PayPal them $10 so they can pay for the shipping to ship it back. But give me 2 weeks for this thing. All right. So that's the invite. So number 1, just sharing your journey on social media. 2, connecting with new people every day. 3, inviting these new people, to your challenge groups. That invite step. Really falling in love with that invite process. The 4th skill, the foundation of my business, giving your challengers an amazing experience. I really just believe that this is the foundation of my business. The more you guys fall in love with the experience that you're giving your challengers, the more challenge packs you're going to sell, because people are going to be able to tell that you're not just trying to sell challenge packs, that you're actually trying to do something beyond that, trying to give them an awesome experience with the challenge pack. So you're going to sell more challenge packs. You're going to hit Success Club more often. And the people in your challenge group are going to be more likely to become a coach. The better the experience you give your people, the more likely they're going to fall in love with the products, fall in love with what you did for them as a coach, believe in what we do as coaches, and be more likely to become a coach. And guess what happens with those people? They make great coaches. The better the experience you give people, the better coaches you'll have, because they're going to give the same experience to their people that you gave to them. So that, to me, I think is the foundation of the business. And, I start I do 21-day fix is my go-to. I think a lot of people, 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, 21 days. It's not intimidating. The containers are just what I think they're genius. They dial in people's nutrition better than anything else I've ever seen. So that's my go-to challenge pack. I start one every month, usually the third Monday of the month, third or fourth Monday of the month. That way like Mindy was talking about, I'm not like desperate to hit Success Club at the end of the month. I'm focused on my inviting early in the month. So it always starts on a Monday, and my deadline for people to order is always 10 days before on a Friday. And it's a hard deadline. And that helps me stay focused and shoot for that deadline. And it also makes my prospects stop waffling, because it's like, hey, here's your deadline this Friday to get in the group. If you're in, great. If you're not, so you can do the next month. But it's a hard deadline. So then that Friday, 10 days before it starts, is the deadline. And then that following Monday, which is 7 days before it starts, is the prep week. So I put them all in the group that Monday before it starts. They all have ordered their challenge pack at this point. They probably don't have it yet though, but they're in there. And every day I post a question just to get them to interact with each other. You know, like if you could be a movie character, who would it be and why? You know, and I can share those questions with you guys, but just little things to like get them to interact with each other. And I send voice texts to them. You know, I think them hearing your voice is huge. One of the two things I tell them that the prep week is all about, number one, get out of your comfort zone, send each other friend requests, comment on each other's posts, comment on each other's comments, encourage each other, get to know each other, get out of your comfort zone. The more you get out of your comfort zone, the more the other people are going to encourage you and the better the results you're going to get. So that's the first thing I'm telling them, and I'm hammering that home. The second thing I'm trying to make sure happens in that prep week is that they are going through their challenge pack, making sure they know how many of each color container they're going to be using, asking any questions, going to the grocery store, getting their food, doing their meal prep the weekend before, throwing away all the junk in their cupboards, anything that's not on the meal plan, get it out of the house, right? Those are the two things I'm doing in the prep week. So when the official first day starts, they're ready to run. They're pumped. They're excited. They know each other. They're ready to encourage each other. They have all their questions answered. They got their containers ready, their meal prep ready. They have their calendar pinned on their wall, and they are pumped up, ready to rock. And there already has a ton of buzz and interaction in the group. And then on day one, I post a photo that says, okay, Monday, day one, what was your workout today? And then everyone comments with their workout. And then the next day, it's a little recognition that says who commented with their workout, everyone's name and the number 1 next to their name. And then on Tuesday, I say, well, Tuesday, day 2, what was your workout today? And everyone comments. And then on Wednesday, it says, here's your recognition, everyone's name with a 2. It is astonishing how much more consistent my challenges have become ever since I started doing that little numbered recognition. Nobody wants their number to be less than everyone else's. So they show up in that group every day to comment that they did their workout, and then they look to see what else is going on in there. And they comment on other people's posts because they're in there. Creates more interaction, creates more consistency. Other thing I do in there, you guys know who Darren Hardy is? He wrote The Compound Effect. DarrenDaily.com. You can get free videos sent to you from him, little mindset videos. They're awesome. They're like 2 to 3 minutes. I post those every day in my challenge groups. And I keep track, and I say, here's the Darren Daily, comment with your top takeaway. And I keep track of who does that. And I keep a number column for that too. So by the end of the 21 days, if they have a 21 next to their name for they did all 21 workouts, and a 21, they watched all 21 Darren Dailies, probably someone who's going to make a really good coach, because there's someone who's consistent with their fitness, nutrition, consistent with staying in a group, and they're doing well with personal development. They like that stuff. I see one of them right here, Stevie. Stevie just got out of a challenge group. It ended on 2 days ago on Sunday. She had 21 for 21 on her workouts. She had 21 for 21 on her Darren Daily. And now she's a coach, and she's going to start her own challenge group and give that same amazing experience to her people. Pretty cool. I love that aspect of it. You know, it doesn't end with this 21-day challenge. Like, now it's a ripple effect of now they get to keep that lifestyle that you've helped them create, and now inspire others to build that same healthy lifestyle too. Pretty cool. And I think that mindset part of it is just as important in your fitness and nutrition as it is in this business, which is why personal development is a big part of my challenge groups. And then when they become coaches, personal development is just like already a natural part of their daily routine. It's pretty cool. So you gotta fall in love with the experience you're giving your challengers. You really do. I really think that's the foundation of the business. And then the fifth skill is just getting your coaches comfortable with introducing the coaching opportunity to their challengers that they think would probably make great coaches. Those are the 5 things. Can you guys repeat them? What do you got? Anybody? Number 1, be consistent with sharing your journey on social media. 2, connecting with new people each day. 3, inviting new people, inviting to your challenge groups. 4, giving your people a great experience. 5, getting comfortable with introducing the coaching opportunity to your challengers. Right? So then I have coaches, that are like, I don't even think I don't know if I'm ready to sign a new coach because I'm still learning myself. How can I train a new coach? I don't think I'm ready for that. And so what I tell them is, here's your 5 skills. Do you feel confident with these 5 things? Do you feel pretty comfortable with those 5 skills? On a scale of 1 to 10, I ask them where they're at. If they're like at an 8 or above with those 5 things, those 5 skills we just talked about, I go, perfect. All you got to do is just share how you do those 5 things with your coach and get your coaches confident with those 5 things. That's it. Stop looking around at what other coaches are doing and thinking you don't know what you're doing and you got to be doing this because that person over there is doing this, blah, 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 blah. Cut it. Get comfortable with those 5 skills and then get your coaches comfortable with those 5 things. So what I do with my coaches is I'll ask them, here's skill number 1, sharing on social media. How comfortable and confident do you feel like with that on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me look at your posts. And I go to their page and I look and I give them some compliments and maybe some things they can improve. Then the next thing, where are you connecting with new people? What platform are you using? Are you doing suggested Facebook friends? Are you on Instagram? Are you doing Facebook, finding people in Facebook groups? Like, how are you doing that? If they don't have an answer for that, that's where we work. That's where we put in some work to help them figure out how to be adding new people each day. Quality people that they have things in common with. So where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 there? Inviting. How comfortable do you feel about that invite process? Just getting out of your head and stop worrying about what other people think of you and how you're going to come off to other people, and come from your heart and focus on how you can help others by just throwing out an invite. Hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but I think it'd be fun to do a 21-day challenge together. Get out of your head. Don't worry about how you're coming off to people. Come from your heart. Focus on how you can just throw an invite out there and maybe they'll be interested. If they're not, they'll tell you no, and then they're going to watch you even closer now, which is cool too, right? And then, so those first 3 are really what I focus a lot of attention on with my new coaches. That 4th one, the giving the people a great experience in the challenge groups, that one we focus on once they're ready for their challenge group to start. And a lot of times they feel really comfortable already because they just got out of one and they saw the experience I gave them and they can kind of replicate that experience and put their own little flair to it. And then the 5th one, how to introduce your challengers to the coaching opportunity. I have a little 3-step, invite script I use for that, like talking about the discount on Shakeology. I can share that one with you too. Yeah, that's all I got. So that's it. Mindset and the big picture. And then here's your 5 skills. And you got to just get comfortable with those 5 things and do those 5 things every day for a year and stay on the escalator for a year. You guys excited about that? Awesome. Okay. Do we have time for any questions? I don't know. I think I talked for like an hour.
I don't think anybody got tired of listening to you. I didn't realize what an amazing teacher you were. So thank you for that. Robin said that this is going to be a replay call to listen to over and over. And I definitely agree. I think this is something I'm going to share with new coaches who want to work the business because there are so many points that you said. One thing that we've talked about in one of our little leadership training groups that have been doing is that Barbie Caleb did a call for us recently, and she was talking about basically what you said, that you get in this mindset where you think oh, my team sucks, my coaches aren't doing anything, and I'm not saying that you suck, but basically you were saying that the first 4 years it wasn't really it was your own actions, and I hate to point fingers at anybody, but I say hey, whenever I sucked last year, that's why I didn't hit elite. I can't blame anybody else. And then what you said about personal development, Robin and I had a call the other day and we talked about that. And like I said, I can always tell the difference in the mindset of people who are doing their personal development daily. Because Robin recently lost her job, and I've had coaches on our team that were faced with job issues, and the ones that weren't doing personal development, literally their whole world was coming undone. And I've been there. And Robin was cool as a cucumber, and she's taken this and ran. She's been doing her personal development, and so people underestimate that. So I'm big on personal development. So thank you so much for really pressing upon that. I remember Scotty Hobbs said on a national wake up call that, and what I said was that, if you aren't doing personal development, you have no value to add. You have nothing to say. So
right. I ask that too. Like if a coach is struggling, one of the first things I ask is like, "Are you doing your personal development?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, it's like every time a coach is struggling, I've never had," and I go, "Are you doing your personal development?" I don't think I've ever had someone say, "Yeah," every day. It's always like, "Oh yeah, shoot, forgot about that."
Yeah, anytime anybody's struggling with the business, I get coaches from across the network are like, like what you said, how people ask, how do you make six figures? How do you do that? And I've never met any struggling coach who is doing the vital behaviors. And, you can tell. And that's, I want to press upon everybody to what you said about how that you don't say negative stuff. And I get this all the time, that people think, oh, you have to be a coach, you have to be super positive, and you have to be perfect. And that's not what we're saying. And that's how I share it, is that personal development is a big deal, because when bad shit happens, because bad shit happens to all of us, and it's going to continue happening as long as we're breathing. When you're doing personal development, the way you handle stuff and the way you can find a solution is really different for the people who are not doing personal development and are not immersed in a team full of supportive people. So that's what I do, is whenever bad shit happens, because trust me, if anybody's followed me, you know that bad stuff has happened to me a lot in the last year. I've been able to give, this is what happened, this is why it happened, and this is what I'm doing to fix it, and then watch me fix it. But without personal development and without my team, I would just be another negative person that you're posting about on Facebook, how negative I am.
Yeah. It's funny, like the compound effect of personal development, like over the years, the impact it's had. I remember when I first became a coach, the team, my buddy was like the guy that signed me up, and he was like, "Oh, you got to get on this team call this week." And I wouldn't get on the call because I was afraid that they would ask me to say my name and introduce myself, and I would forget my name and say something stupid, So and now doing calls like this, it's kind of funny. And a few years back, I never would have thought I'd be doing a call like this,
Great.
But I still it's not like it's top of the mountain, you're there. It's a constant thing. It's I still doubt myself at times. Still do, still struggle with that self-doubt. But when I do that, because of the personal development, I'm very conscious of when I'm doing it, and I'm able to turn it off a lot faster. I go, yup, you're in your head again. You're thinking about yourself. You're worried about what other people think. Shift from that. Come from your heart and focus on how you can help others. It's not it's not an easy thing to do overnight, but the more you become conscious of catching yourself when you're in your head, worrying about what other people think of you and how you're coming off to people, and you make that shift from that to how can I be in service to others, this weight is lifted, and that doubt starts to kind of go away, and you get better at it. It's a constant thing. I still struggle with that stuff.
With anything, I think practice, makes you not perfect, but it makes you more comfortable with doing it. Because what you said was, I remember the first time I was asked to speak on our team call back in August of 2012. I remember it was when we were doing an 8-week cup challenge. And I was terrified. I was pacing my house. People couldn't even really understand me because I was so nervous. They couldn't even see me. And so if you had told me then that I would be doing a call and, in my workout clothes, not caring what I look like, I would have never believed anybody. But it all started with saying yes and getting out of my head and just doing it 4 years ago, and keep doing it. And it's, people always look at, somebody always look at you now thinking, I'm sure there's some coach on here right now thinking I could never do what he's doing and be such a great teacher. He's such a great teacher. And, the thing is, if you just get started, you eventually will. But if you never get started, you will be exactly what you're saying, that you'll never be able to be there. And that's the whole mindset thing.
I think it's funny you say that, because Yeah, it's funny. Like with people, some people will look and say, "Oh, that's Patrick Riehlman, 3-time elite coach," and then they put me on a pedestal and they go, "Oh, I couldn't do what he does." Whereas my sisters were like, "Patrick Riehlman, 3-time elite coach? You kidding me? That's Pat, my older brother, that like lays on the couch." So they looked at what I was doing. They saw the success I was having, and they were like, "If he can do it, I definitely can do it." They got in, they started the business, were consistent from day one because they knew that it was like, he's not doing anything special. Like I could do anything he could do better. And so they are both killing it, making 6-figure incomes and quit their jobs and going to be elite coaches and all that. But
that's the funny thing is I hate when people start following me now and they see this stuff. Like I stopped posting actually pictures of our team calls. Like if you've watched me and notice I stopped because people will see that and be like, I've had people literally not sign up because they think that they have to get on the calls. And it's that same mindset, like you said, oh my God, I don't want to get on because you don't know what's going to happen, but you assume they're going to ask you, you assume you're going to freeze up. So I really just kept doing what you said you do on social media. Is like I'm really not identifiable as a coach. I took everything off that says I'm a coach because now more coaches are hitting me up, which is a good thing because I don't just blend in to the rest of the coaches, and I'm just a person trying to make an impact. And I think that people really see your heart, like you say, and all of that is, for me, has been learned over 4.5 years of posting my websites, posting pictures of me kissing my Shakeology cup every morning. It's just stuff that,
you learn, you learn how to like just be yourself and not be like a salesperson.
Right. Does anybody have any other questions or any questions? Go ahead, Robin.
Hey, Pat, this was a freaking amazing call, and I'm going to listen to it probably every single day for the rest of my life. I would listen to you.
Feel bad for you.
Don't die, Mindy. I would listen to you talk about mindset and everything like every single day. So I wanted to know, what are your top 3 personal development books that you would recommend?
The Slight Edge,
Okay.
and the 45-second presentation.
I have that.
Okay.
Slight Edge is the first book I ever finished. I don't know how I made it through high school and college. But I love that book. The Slight Edge really taught me what success was. I think, like we were just talking about, I think you think of success as like this thing that is reserved for the very like talented. And even if they're not talented, we look at them and we like make up some reason that they're successful and we can't be. You read that book, The Slight Edge, and your definition of what it takes to become successful changes very quickly. And you realize it's not these monumental, heroic acts that make you successful. It's these mundane, unsexy, boring daily tasks that you do every day, whether you feel like it or not. And that's what separates the successful coaches from the ones that struggle. Isn't that they're doing anything different. The successful ones are just doing those unsexy, mundane, boring tasks every day. They're doing it on the days they don't feel like it. They're making time on the days they don't have time. That's the secret to success.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us tonight.
Yeah, you got it.
I want to say one last thing. If somebody doesn't have any more questions, or if people don't have more questions, I forgot to mention the importance of getting to Super Saturday, but also the Cup is coming up. I was reminded about the call that I did 4 years ago. The Cup is coming up. We can start registering on the 18th. I don't know the actual percentage. Actually, I've been told somewhere in the group that I posted, but again, these are one of the non-negotiables and the foundations of your business. And the coaches at Hit Success Club, the coaches that join Cup teams, are significantly higher at Success Club points and income and rank. So make sure you're getting on there, and that really. It's kind of like he was saying, that it's consistency. Like so many people say, again, mindset. I don't want to join a Cup team because I don't want to bring anyone down. I'm afraid that I'm going to fail. But really, if you're not doing anything with a business, getting on a Cup team is really great because it can help give you, 30 or 31, however many days are in August, 31 days of accountability to get in a consistent mode. And that can help you go. And you can learn from other people who are, ahead of you or further, or behind you in this journey or time frame of being a coach. But definitely get on it, because I said this in my live broadcast and the Team Relentless group page the other day, that I've seen so many people who had that mindset who did not register, but then they were doing the vital behaviors. And then they hit Success Club 8 and 12, and then they kicked themselves because they didn't get recognized, and then they thought, oh gosh, I should have done that. And I'll tell you, just from a lifetime of making a lot of bad mistakes outside of this business, is living with regret is like sucks, because you can't go back and change your decisions. So get on a cup team. Find somebody in our team. I have a document in Team Relentless where you can put it on there if you need a team. Literally, our team is so big and it's been so established. For myself, being here for 4.5 years and failing forward over and over, and Diesel Nation being, I think, what are we, 6 or 7 years old now, that we have everything there, that if you are at that point where, like Pat said, you know, give yourself a scale of 1 to 10 of where you're at here. If you are lacking in a certain department, there's the resources or somebody in our team that literally will help you. I just, one last thing is I did a 30-minute kind of getting started right call, because I know so many coaches who are brand new, who don't have the confidence or don't really know what to say on a getting started right call, or there is, you know, a lot of issues with time and schedules and time zones where you can't get a getting started right call. So I've done one of those for you that literally you can just say like, hey, I'm a new coach, or we haven't been able to touch base. Here's some stuff that I want you to know right away about coaching. So literally I'm here to help you. And, you know, if you are, you know, not confident in some area, please just tell us, because we are here to help you. And I posted in the Team Relentless the document that Pat sent me a couple months back of the questions that he had. I do have the 45-minute presentation, and I'm going to post. Greg Plaskett gave that to me a long time ago. So as you can see, this organization is full of people in our team, outside of our team, that literally will help you. You can't fail unless you don't do anything. So with that being said, does anybody have anything else they want to say or ask? Nope. Thank you, Pat. You were absolutely amazing, and we were all really happy to have you here. So thank you for giving your time. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to pay it forward for your team if you ever need it. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. All right, I'll see you guys on the escalator.
All right, bye.